it's, you know, in between Christmas and New Year's when everybody's getting together with their families, and we've seen a bunch of our family, so today we're gonna visit Johnny's family. He's got some extended family here, and we just wanted to say hi, because, you know, everybody needs to celebrate with their family for the holiday season. So this is Johnny's older brother, JJ. He was kind of always the favored child because, you know, he's a 3 Series, so he's a little bigger. You know, if he had a backhoe, his backhoe would be stronger. But mostly he just kind of mows. He doesn't do much. He just mows the grass. And that's fine. I mean, everybody needs a fancy tractor to mow the grass with. And he even has a cab, which I have to admit I'm a little jealous of sometimes. When it gets really cold, I'd like to have a cab.
Well, let's check out some of JJ's implements over here.
So this is JJ's tiller, and you might think to yourself, wow, that looks a lot like Johnny's, except it's red. Yeah, that's right, it's red. I don't know why. It needs a good coat of paint, and it'll be fine. I think it's probably about the same size width-wise as Johnny's, and appears to work pretty similarly.
Yeah, I think it's almost identical to Johnny's. Different brand. It's a Coroni. Like Mac.
Macaroni?
Yeah.
Okay. And then back there in the back, we have a planter that can like plant seeds, probably usually corn, spaced out appropriately without having to do it by hand, which is nice, but I have this theory that crops don't grow as well, especially in like your backyard garden, unless you plant each one with love.
So I think this planter is used to fill in places that didn't grow right when they planted them with the big planter.
Yeah, so
maybe they got flooded or otherwise the corn didn't come up.
So this is the act like you mean it planter. So there's 2 huge yellow bins in the back, and those get filled with seed, and then they distribute the seeds to the smaller yellow bins. Each bin represents a row, and then they each get spaced out and planted per the rows, so it's really easy to have nice straight lines with even spacing, which makes it easier for the sprayer and the combine to come through with those equal sized row lengths and get what they need to get done.
Yep.
Done. So this is a soybean combine head right here. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a soybean, I'm gonna get eaten by the combine and be like, oh no!
Yeah, where does it actually get cut?
Right here.
Yep.
Oh, that's dirt. Don't touch that. And then it'll go back into the combine, the imaginary combine back there.
Yeah, but it goes on that belt, and that belt takes it to the center. We'll go down. And that's where it gets taken up into the combine right there.
He's taller than I am.
You can hardly see over that, can you?
No. Oh, hashtag short person problems. Every family has that crazy uncle, right? And this is Uncle Jack. As you can see, he thinks highly of himself. He's a sprayer. So he is tall so that he can go over corn that's already started growing and spray fertilizer or insecticide or things like that on the crops to help them grow better.
I think he just sprays herbicide. He sprays things to kill things, not to make them better.
Well, by killing things, he makes the crops better.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
But he is kind of the crazy Uncle Jack. So.
Yeah, he is the crazy uncle. Anyway, for size, you can see that.
Hey, can you actually get under there? If you go in the right spots, you can walk right under there.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, point out where it'll go up even higher.
These are hydraulic cylinders that allow the entire tractor part of this to raise up so that higher corn can still go underneath the tractor. So if you need to put more herbicide on the corn when it's, you know, like 5 feet tall like I am, raise up your tractor and you can just drive right over me and, you know, spray your herbicide. And these tires are specifically made so that they can fit the rows of the corn, which I think is really cool because if you're running through a, you know, field of corn, you don't want to lose any of your corn crop while you're trying to spray for weeds. So I think that's really cool. And as you can see, there's giant black, you know, strange looking things up there. Those are little, I'm going to call them wings, that spread out, and then the herbicide and everything like goes off of them.
About the same width as you?
About the same width as me, yeah, 90 feet for the tractors. about 89 for me. You know, it's got a little bit on me, but yeah. Usually we have crazy uncles that spray opinions or just rude comments. No, this one sprays herbicide.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
So that's Uncle Jack.
That's Uncle Jack.
See you,
yeah,
Uncle.
His name was also gonna be John, but he just couldn't stand being the same as everyone else, so he decided to go by Jack instead. So this is one of Johnny's old friends, you might say. This is a 1967 model Oliver. So he's one of a kind, really. He's pretty rare, got an interesting personality, pretty old, you know, was probably born before people could see in color. Yeah, he's just an interesting guy.
Yeah. He's a little bit pushy.
A little bit.
But other than that, a good old guy.
Yeah, he gets away with it because he's so special. So this is another one of Johnny's friends, and he is a early 1970s international harvester. And clearly he's not a part of the family because he's the wrong color. So this is Johnny's dad. We call him Papa John. And he's an 8 series, so he is, you know, big and strong and probably one of the biggest tractors that you're likely to come across on a family farm. He carries the planter that we saw in the other shed, so a lot of the times he ends up being the smallest part of the tractor, the whole ensemble of the tractor, whereas Johnny usually is actually the biggest part of ours because his backhoe and stuff isn't that big. But he's quite the inspiration to Johnny, and we know Johnny looks up to him and hopes that he might be like him when he grows up.
He always knows where he is. He has directional sensor up there, GPS sensor.
Yeah, and he has like radio and like iPads in the cab and all that stuff. He's a really technologically inclined father.
Yep.
I have one of those too. So this is Papa John's brother, Juan, and Juan is also an 8 series. He's just a bit older, you know, not quite as out there as Uncle Jack, but just a little different. So
he's experienced.
he's the experienced brother. He used to have the same sort of functions as Papa John now has. Very capable of the same amount of things. Papa John's just newer. This is Great Grandpa John. He is what started it all. He is a pretty old 4620 model. He ran on diesel fuel.
You know that because it says so right on the side.
Right on the side.
Yeah. This particular 4620 hasn't been around here very long. He was not very healthy, and the family decided to bring him in and see if they could rehabilitate him a little bit.
So how's he doing now?
He's doing good. He'll start and run, and I don't know what we use him for much, but we'll have to ask his curator.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm glad he's with the family now and feeling better. So this is Grandpa Corey. Corey Combine, of course. He is who harvests all the crops that John and Juan and everyone else help plant. So he helps reap the rewards of all of their labor. And he has various attachable heads, so he can harvest corn or soybeans easily, even though those are very different crops. And he has 2 seats in here, so that 2 people can ride. And as a kid, I was fortunate enough to be able to ride in the smaller seat while my granddad would drive the combine. And it's really quite a view to be driving this in the field and see all the corn being harvested by the combine. I think it's really cool.